On episode 623 of the 40 Plus Fitness Podcast, we have the second part of a 6-episode series on building the best you. This episode is recorded to stand alone. However, you'll get more value if you listen to the previous episode 622 first. You can find the full show notes for this episode at 40plusfitnesspodcast.com/623. Have you decided you're ready to make a change? To reclaim your health and fitness? The 40 Plus Fitness Podcast is here for you. Each week, we dive deep into health and fitness topics that affect those of us over 40. I'm Coach Allen. I'm an NASM certified personal trainer with specializations in corrective exercise, behavior change, performance enhancement, and fitness nutrition. A Precision Nutrition Level 1 coach, a FAI certified functional age-linked specialist, and an OTA Level 2 online trainer. Each week, I'm joined by our co-host, Coach Rachel. She is an NASM certified personal trainer and a RRCA Level 1 run coach. Let us be your coaches as you find your way on your health and fitness journey. All right, let's go. Hi there, I'm Coach Allen. If you're over 40 and struggling to shed those extra pounds, I'm here to tell you that there's a better way, a path to lasting weight loss and a healthier you. I understand where you are all too well. You've tried countless diets and exercise programs that promise quick fixes, only to be disappointed and left feeling defeated. It's frustrating, and at times you probably feel a little hopeless. Even when you manage to lose some weight, it comes right back when you can't stick to the strict diet or intense workouts. I'm here to offer you something different, something that actually works. It's not a fad diet or a miracle pill. It's not a cookie cutter workout program. It's a transformative journey toward a healthier, happier you. Imagine yourself 15, 30, or even 65 pounds lighter, full of energy and living life to the fullest. Does that sound like the journey you'd like to take? Well, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. I'm currently holding open enrollment for what I can best describe as a weight loss experience. You'll work directly with me to build a plan that's right for you. And I guarantee that you'll lose all the weight you want and build a lifestyle that will help you keep it off. But time is of the essence. The enrollment period for this life-changing weight loss coaching program ends on December 31st. I'm also limiting it to 20 participants. With what it will take for me to do this with you, I don't foresee another open enrollment for quite some time. Don't let another year slip away. I want you to take action right now. If you're ready to invest in yourself, to break free from the cycle of failed attempts, and to finally achieve the results you've been longing for, email me, coach@40plusfitness.com. Remember, you don't have to face this challenge alone. With the right guidance, support, and accountability, your weight loss goals can become reality. Email me today, coach@40plusfitness.com, and let's make 2024 the year you lose the weight and transform your life. Hey, Raz. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Alan. It's so nice to see you after some time off. I was on my vacation. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, well, I did take a day off, day and a
Good.
half, I guess.
I guess that's a start.
Yeah, it's a start. But no, I took all of September off. Most people didn't even recognize that because we do the way we do
Right.
podcast asynchronously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the podcast kept coming out and things kept happening. And then I got back and got kind of behind on everything.
Oh, no.
And that's, that was when I was like, okay, I can't do anymore. And I backed off of a few things. And so then, yeah, I took a day and a half or so off for Christmas. And I'll
Good.
probably do the same thing for this New Year's. But I'm recording a lot, so I'm getting episodes ahead and all that. And so this is being recorded. I lost my show notes, my plan for following the last two of this series because I was writing the fourth one. I'm like, okay, so where's my notebook? I can't find my notebook. But anyway, so I've got to go back and outline those shows. But which I hate redoing work, but it is what it is. But anyway, yeah. So I did take a day and a half off, which was good. But
good. That's
and
wonderful.
you went to see family and do the whole thing.
Yep, took a big long vacation, got through the holidays, visited family. Now we're at New Year's and I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do this year. I got a little bit of a head cold, so if my voice sounds funny, it's just a little bit of a cold, but I'm
You
fine.
just sound like every other human being on this.
Yeah,
Everybody has it. Everybody has it. It's so funny because
it's going
Tammy's
round.
like, I got a little bit of a cough. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so I'll be upstairs. And I checked myself into one of the rooms. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, we had a Christmas party and she had invited a bunch of people. And then a few of them called out sick, so
Oh,
it's that thing. It goes around.
it's
And
it's that time of year. Yep.
yeah, I'm glad her friends didn't come to the party sick. And I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
that she's recovering and,
Good.
I'm back in my bedroom again. Um,
Good. Very
yeah, I don't
nice.
play with that. I don't play with that. When Tammy says,
No.
I'm not feel okay, I grab my stuff, go
Yep.
upstairs. I
It's
should
not
just have a
fun.
go bag,
Ah, yeah, for sure. Oh
I thought
gosh.
about that this time, but
Hmm.
no, I mean, I'm pretty excited to go into the new year because I've set myself a very ambitious business goal this year.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I want to help people lose 10,000 pounds this year.
Wow. That is audacious.
That's my goal. And no, I know it is. And it's not going to be one person.
Well, of course.
And it's not that everybody has to lose a lot. So 5 pounds here, 5 pounds there. So I'll have challenges and things going on. If you do something that I've put out there and you lose 5 pounds, please shoot me an email. Let me know that it
That's
happened.
awesome.
I'd love to know that because I am going to try to tally that off to 10,000 pounds. But that said, I'm
Wow.
also kind of refabricating the way I do my programs going into the new year, and they're really going to focus on helping people that have really struggled to lose weight and need to lose 30, 40, 50, 60 or more pounds. So if you
Awesome.
find yourself in that model where you're like, okay, I really could use to lose a good bit of weight and I'm ready to go, then email me. Let me know that you want
Neat.
to go, because that's how I'm going to do it. I want some big chunks and I want some little chunks. And I don't mean chunk in the name of chunk. I'm just like, if you've got a
Hmm.
lot of weight to lose, I want to work with you. You got a little bit of weight to lose, I want to work with you. Just let's be in
Awesome.
touch and let me see if there's things I can do to help you get through this. And the way you get through it is to have a plan. So
Yeah.
if you reach out to me, we'll get on a planning call and we'll get that going, which is actually the topic of today's show.
Awesome.
You ready to go?
Sure. Sounds great.
Hello, and welcome to 40 Plus Fitness. Today is the second episode in the series. It's a 6-part series called Building the Best You. And in the series, last time we talked about the dreams and aspirations. And if you didn't listen to that one, I'd strongly encourage you to go listen to that one first. This one will stand alone. This episode will stand alone, but I think you'll get a lot more out of this whole process if you listen to each episode in order. And this is episode 2 of this 6-part series. So I want to start this one out with a little story. I had a friend, and his name was Greg, and he lived here in Bocas del Toro. He was actually here when I moved down. Okay, so Greg was working, he was doing some stuff here and there, but he had a rent place. He was happy, and then he decided that he was going to go ahead and he was going to buy a lot of land. Okay, so he bought some land, and then his wife was a sort of an architect, interior design person. Anyway, they wrote up plans for this house. Okay, now one of the key things is they did all this before they really even surveyed the land. They just went through and they made the plans for the lot, for the house they were going to build, and it was going to be a certain size and it was going to look a certain way. And so they go through and they sit down and they get the survey done of the land. So we're going to build this house on this land. And then you go in and they got the survey. Now it was a little backwards. And as a result, when they did the survey, they realized they couldn't build the house the way they wanted to build it because that lot was not set up. And as a result of what would happen is their house would float away. They literally needed a lot more concrete than they originally thought they would. And so the survey basically told them they were either going to have to significantly change the foundation of the house or build a different house. And in the end, they didn't want to do that. They wanted the house that they had dreamed up. So, last week we talked about dreams and aspirations. And so the dreams were a particular house. And then now they're going through and trying to figure out how to build that house. But they didn't do the survey first. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, when you're going through your health and fitness dream and then you're trying to make it a reality, there's that point where you have to sit down and think about who you are as a person, self-awareness. So you go through a process where you dive deep into who you are, okay, as an individual. And this is a very important step. A lot of people try to skip this step. They go straight into the strategies and tactics, okay? And so just like Greg and his wife had skipped the step of doing the survey first, they went on in. Now, did they build anything? Did they put anything together? Well, they did build a little bodega. So they did a little bit of work. They had a strategy and a tactics. They started doing some of the work. They cleared the land. They built a little bodega, which bodegas, these little houses. You do that usually because you have someone live on the land so that someone's out there not stealing your building supplies and stuff. But they'd started doing some work. They had started spending some money and then realized they couldn't do it. So we have to do the same thing as we get into our health and fitness journey. We need to go back and be self-aware. Now, in these, there's two different pieces. There's the physical things and there's the mental things. So the physical ones are pretty much the easiest to identify. If you're really out of shape, you're not going to be out there running a whole lot to start with. You might just have to start with walking. You might do very short walks to start and then build up your pace. But your physical limitations. You may have issues with your knees, okay? And they may have issues with your feet, and you may have issues with anything else, shoulder, hips, you name it. You're going to have some physical limitations if you're over 40. That's almost a guarantee. And if you haven't been training and working out regular, you're probably going to have some physical limitations that are just fitness related, how much you can do. Now, these are, like I said, pretty easy to identify. You know them when they happen. You've lived them. You're living them. So you kind of know how far you can push yourself before you're hitting that line. Now, the problem with this is a lot of times these physical limitations are, I'm not going to say false, but let's just say there's a limiting belief. You have a limiting belief that you can't run or you can't jog or you can't lift weights when you probably could. You just might not be able to do all the things. So maybe your shoulder's a problem and you shouldn't be pressing weights, but you can pull. You can work out with your legs. There's a lot of things you probably could do, but because we have a belief that we can't, we won't. So we've got to get past those limiting beliefs and get to the real meat of what we can physically do and then start doing it. Okay. With self-awareness on the mental side, now we're looking at mental limitations. And I'm going to say these are a lot harder. They're a lot harder to identify and they're a lot harder to work around. Okay. So if you're not sure about some of your mental limitations or not completely up to speed, I do have a free quiz. You can go to 40plusfitness.com/quiz, and this will help you identify your primary mindset. Now, these mindsets are important because they're hardwired into us. They're ways that we think about things, and we don't always know what that means, what that is. And so this primary mindset is going to give you at least an understanding of ways that you can drive behavior or not. And so for a lot of us, it becomes a blocker because we sit down, we say, okay, well, I've got the family, I've got this, I've got that, I can't do this. I'm sitting around like I'm just bored. I don't want to go to the gym. I have no drive. There's nothing pushing me. I don't want to go. Well, that could be a mental limitation. That might be something in my mindset that's telling me that. And I need to know what that is so I can push past it. So go ahead and try that quiz, 40plusfitness.com/quiz. That'll give you some results. If you have any questions about your results, you can go ahead and email me, coach@40plusfitness.com, and we can have that conversation. Okay. Now there's another part of this that's in the hardwiring, and there's kind of two of them, and they're somewhat related. And that is just understanding your personality. Are you an all or none person, or are you a moderator? So some people can moderate their things. So they can say, okay, well, I'll have a little bit of cake, not all the cake. Or I'll buy cookies. Sure, I'll have them in the house, but I'll only eat one cookie. I'm not going to eat all the cookies or several cookies. So knowing if you're an all or none person can help you structure your strategies and tactics for the way you do things as you get on this journey. Recognizing, okay, if you're an all or none person, sometimes it's going to be hard for you to hold back in your workouts and you may try to overdo it. Again, going against some of those physical limitations. So you have to know your mental wiring. Are you an all or none person or moderator? Can you do that? The next is kryptonite. And kryptonite was a rock from Krypton when Superman came down to Earth. I guess the planet blew up, and this mineral from his planet is readily available, floating around. Some of it lands on Earth. And so when he's around kryptonite, he becomes very weak. He's not able to fight back. He's not able to be Superman anymore. And so knowing what your kryptonite is will be knowing what your weaknesses are. So I'll hear it in foods where people will say, I have a sweet tooth, or I get a little stressed and I want comfort foods, or, I smell fast food and I want to have it, or, it's just easier, the processed foods. And so I see it, it's easy, I cook it and then I eat it, or I buy it, it's easy, it's done. So if you know that you have a kryptonite, you need to try to stay away from it, just like Superman. And so there's the kryptonites. There's also kryptonites in people and events and things like that. So do you know, like, if you're going to be hanging out with certain people, that you're going to do certain things? And so again, all this self-awareness, that's just mental self-awareness, and the physical self-awareness are really kind of, when you start putting those together, now you have a survey done. Now you know, okay, I need to avoid this. I need to get all of that out of the house. I know I'm not a moderator. I know I'm an all or none. So the answer is none. Okay. I know that my primary mindset is Atlas, myself. And I know that I need something in front of me that's going to drive me, something that's going to push me to work a little harder. Otherwise, I get bored and I don't want to work out at all. So I need something in front of me. Physical limitations. I'm very fortunate. I don't have a lot of physical limitations. And other than, I did tear a rotator cuff. So I have the tendency to push myself a little hard. And I know being over 50, I can break. So there are some physical limitations, obviously, but I can sit down, and I've done a survey of myself. So I generally know these things, and that helps me put the right strategies and tactics in place. So I'm not telling you to not do any work until you've done this survey, but I'm telling you, you need to do this survey sooner rather than later. Yes, if Greg was going to build the house, he was going to need that little bodega. So, and the little bodega didn't cost him that much to build. So go ahead and get out there and get started. Go for a walk today. Change some of the things that you're going to eat. Pick something better so you're not eating something worse. Okay. And then what you'll be able to do is then add strategies and tactics that line up with who you are from a physical and a mental perspective, so that self-awareness work you did let you build the right program for you, instead of just going at it haphazard and hoping for the best. So I hope that was helpful. This was episode 2 of the 6-part series on building the best you. I hope you'll join us next week when we'll get into part 3. Welcome back, Raz.
Hey, Alan, I really love this particular steps. Session 2, do the survey. Doing a survey is pretty important. I've noticed in my world in running that we have a lot of goals, got a lot of great ideas, but sometimes they just don't go together. I have a lot of people that come to running in order to lose weight, which is great. Running can be a very valuable tool in your weight loss journey, but you can't lose weight plus gain speed on a run, plus go endurance on the run, plus lift heavy at the gym. Like, you can't do it all. So it's really important to really consider what are your priorities, and then go through the survey, strengths, weaknesses, and all the things.
Yeah, they say there's 2 kinds of people. So I'm going to say there's 2 kinds of people when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to fitness. And there's the one person that does believe that they can do it all. They've never done it all, but they just in their head believe, okay, well, all
Why
this is
not?
possible. I'm super, super motivated. Yesterday was a Monday, the 1st. I was off. I did the thing. Today I did the thing, so I'm on fire. So yeah, I can do the things. And so we kind of overestimate who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the individuals that underestimate who they are. They have the limiting beliefs. or they come back and they say, well, things are just too busy right now. I'm going to wait till things go back to normal.
Hmm.
And I'm sorry, but they won't. You might get a day
Right.
of normal.
Yeah.
You might get a whole week of normal. But there are going to be things in our way all the way through. And so this
Hmm.
step is really about just looking back and thinking about what's happened in the past and then look forward and then
Right.
really kind of building together a plan. And then that's of course what next week's going to be about, is that plan. But
Hmm.
this is really where you get the building blocks. Just know, okay, is this a
Hmm.
solid foundation? Am I building this on sand,
Hmm.
or is this going to last? In Mississippi we had houses that were built on Yazoo clay, and
Mm.
they could be fine for 15 years, and then the clay would shift and the foundation of the house would crack, and it
Oh.
was a terrible, terrible thing. You get jacks and pay for all that stuff, but it was going to do it again. Once the clay started sliding, it was going to keep doing it, and you were just, that was what your foundation was going to deal with for as long as that
Mm.
house was still a house. So we don't want to build on that kind of stuff, and that's where the
Hmm.
survey, and that's where understanding what's there and what you're dealing with is, are you building in a good place? Are you doing it in a way that's sustainable and going to stay for you? And so
Hmm.
it's knowing what you're capable of and knowing what your limits are, and then really
Right.
building a plan that's going to put you just outside your comfort zone where you're growing and getting better without wrecking yourself.
For sure. You've mentioned in a podcast in the past about knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are. If you are a very organized person, then it should be easy to develop a plan, to schedule. If you're not quite as organized, then maybe there's another way to work around, what you're trying to achieve. But you just need to not have those self-limiting beliefs as well. You know, sorry. Um, you are capable of more than what you think. Sorry, Alan. I'm losing my voice. I don't know how much more I can do. I'm gonna keep coughing. Jeez.
Better? Little?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
for a minute. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll let you take over from here.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, and that's all valid. It is important for you to understand your limits. It's important for
Hmm.
you to know what you're capable of. And sometimes that's just hard to see from internals. I mean, if
Hmm.
someone handed me a clipboard and string and a little thing that they stand on the street with, and someone else points a thing at the thing they in the street, uh, I wouldn't know what the heck I was doing. And I would
Hmm.
want some help doing that. I'd be like, okay, I don't know how to do what they're doing with the grades, and I don't know how to keep a property from flooding properly. I would pull in an expert to say, okay, I just
Hmm.
don't know what I don't know, but I know
Right.
I don't know what I don't know, and so I'm gonna get help when it's that time to ask for help.
Well,
And so
that's
that's all a
important.
part of this, and that's why the survey part is so hard, is really getting a sense of who you are and a sense of what you really need to do and how to do it in a way that's
Hmm.
respectful and honest with yourself. And then now that you've done your survey, you can actually building a plan that's going to work for you. If you just go
Hmm.
out there and say, okay, here's any old running plan for me to be able to do a marathon in October, and you just go out there and say, okay, well, today it says run for 3 miles, and you've
Hmm.
never run for 3 miles at one time in your life, you're going to run for 3 miles. You'll do it, but
Yeah.
then tomorrow you won't.
Right. Yep.
And so we don't want to do that to ourselves. We want to find the responsible, sustainable way to do this, and that's what the survey process is all about.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. That sounds great. Yep. Do the plan or work, do the survey first and make sure all your goals are aligned well.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll talk to you next week.
Take care, Ellen.
Next time on the 40 Plus Fitness podcast, we have the third part of this episode series on building the best you. Until then, have a happy and healthy week.